Okay. Okay. Hello, hello. Um, Today we are going to build something different. I am just looking through some pictures that Leon sent me, and um, let me just send you the pictures of what we are going to build today. So this and this. Oh, come on. What? Why don't you? Why can't you pass this link? Really? Okay. He doesn't like my link. Okay, that's fine. The first link is alright. Okay, so first, what I need to know from you, Leon, is what kind of steering angle do you expect? So, is this okay? Or do we want more? Oh, camera, fuck, focus, come on. Is this alright? Or do we need more? This slope here is about 45 degrees, so just for reference. Okay. So, we are building an axle for a truck today. No, no charger today. We're building an axle for a truck. If you take a look at the link that I posted just a few moments before, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, if you take a look at the link I posted just a few lines above you, we are building a Volvo independent front suspension for a truck. And it needs to be heavy duty, so very sturdy. And as you can see here on my desk, I have the layout or the size limitation set up. So it can be the engine will be two inline threes put together. So 13 studs is the width of the engine, and the pivot points. So basically, the pivot points of the hubs can be 25 studs apart. So that these are our limitations, mostly. So how the way I envisioned it, of course, and Leon will correct me. Basically, for this to be really heavy duty, we will have no kingpin. Kingpin is out of the question here. Caster maybe, but this is going to be a model. You know, doesn't really need it, but it needs to be sturdy. So basically, we have a wheel hub. We have the wheel carrier, and the wheel carrier directly has springs mounted to it. In the real car, these are air springs. So this is one giant air spring. But in our case, we are gonna have like 4 of these, which are really hard. If necessary, they can be even reinforced. I mean, you can put more springs here, but should do the job quite good. And then we need 2 wishbones. The wishbones don't need, in this case, they don't need ball joints, so they're really a straightforward affair. But we need to take into account that the steering link is going to require a ball joint. So we need to leave enough room for this. So the steering link will go in the middle here. In the middle. I'm just pointing it as if it's, you know. We are going to have upper wishbone, lower wishbone, and a steering link. As a reference, I'm going to take the Unimog wheels. Leon is going to use bigger wheels, but that's all I have. Just so I know, and I think these are the rims that he's using. Just so that I have a reference, that I know that everything is clearing everything. So yeah, the steering angle looks alright. Where's my here are the hubs. Just wanted to put this in. So let's take a look at the link I posted so that you can see where our starting point is. The way I see it, the upper wishbone will connect to this, and the lower wishbone, for the lower wishbone, we are going to make a bracket here. I mean, a bracket. Something. And I also think that we need to turn this guy around. Otherwise, it's going to interfere with the upper wishbone. So let's do that first before we commit any further. Yeah, we could have just turned the springs around, but yeah. Oh well. All of this is of course temporary. There. So now the wishbone here has all the room it needs. The steering link is going to be here. The carrier I guess. I mean, that's a bit too technical. Yeah, whatever. Well, at the moment, we are going to make this. I'm gonna post the link again, just so everybody that joined later sees it here. Basically, we are building the independent front suspension of a Volvo truck. That's the new Volvo independent front suspension that they developed for their trucks instead of a live axle in the front. It's for Leon's Scania model, but you know, Scania, Volvo, it's kind of the same, and a live axle would not make sense for him because a Lego live axle front suspension would bend too much. It makes no sense, and the weight that he's going to face with the cabin and all, here the rack and pinion steering that this suspension uses is also going to make a lot more sense. So this is what we are gonna do. If you like it or not, this is what we are going to do. Swedish trucks are awesome, if you ask me. Where is... I mean, since he's building a Scania, if you ask me, he should have put in a V8, but that's just me. Just me being silly. There we go. This is gonna be our steering link. And let's see. Maybe our steering link is going to be here, below it. We'll see. As low as we can put it. First, upper wishbone. So, since... Yeah, I agree. So, since we have a width limitation here, we need... This is the width of the engine. So, the frame rail, or whatever this is gonna be, can be no further back than here. So it's pretty tight. And for this, I think we should use these here. So I would use these here as the mounting point for everything. So basically, the front suspension bridge would be made out of this, and to this, everything is going to attach. The wishbones, the steering links, all of it. And the upper wishbone is gonna be pretty short, because we don't have a lot of room. So it can be, the upper wishbone can be 6 studs at most. 6 studs at most. But this is entirely possible. This is entirely possible. Yep. And I would make it so that we basically turn these guys around. Because the upper wishbone is gonna be just scraping by. There. So we are going to do this like that. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So with 1, 2, 3. There. Come on. There we go. So the attachments of our upper wishbone. And as we said, upper wishbone can be at most, as far as I can see here. Did I say 6 studs? No, 5 studs. Upper wishbone. Upper wishbone is going to be 5 studs, no more. There. Upper wishbone, 5 studs. It cannot be longer because here is already the engine. And we have these guys here. I mean, this guy, it's only one. And we are going to time it so that he is going to be somewhere like this. Somehow like this. Let me just bring you a little bit closer. I see you are too far away. There, that's gonna be much better. Come on. Okay. Yeah. So our upper wishbone is gonna be something like this. But first I need to install the wheel to see what the relation between those is. Okay, doesn't scrape anywhere. That's cool. Just clears it. Just clears it. That's great. Okay, so according to the picture that I'm having in front of me, the lowest part of the suspension at ride height can be where this ridge in the rim is. I'm just looking at the rim itself, not the tires, because Leon is using bigger tires. And let me just check what tires he is using, how big they actually are. Yeah, slightly bigger, yeah, but we are going to stick with them. You know, so basically we can go what? We can go, yeah, maybe 2 studs. One, or yeah, I wouldn't go much further than 1 stud below this. Yeah, so 1 stud below this we can go. That's about it. Okay. So first let's see. These can be slightly turned down, and our wishbone, and our suspension bridge can be something like this. Yeah. That's great. So we can basically mount this 1 stud further here. Okay. That's great. And the springs can be mounted. We have this in the middle. That's not ideal, not for the springs. What if I turn this around? Yeah, then it's not gonna be cool. Okay. So the problem I'm facing here right now is the springs are going to have a mounting point here in the middle, and this ideally would be like that. So I can mount lift arms here left and right that will support the wishbone. Okay, just a second. Just a second. We can, no, I guess, I mean, yeah, we're gonna do it like this. So So we are going to use this bracket since our springs are going to be attached here, and then this guy is going to be attached to the body here and here. The fire pig, hey, we are building a Volvo truck front suspension. If you check the link, I posted a few lines up, if you can. I'll post it again here. We are building this. We are building this. It's for a truck, and it's gonna be awesome. So here in the top, we are going to use, instead of the pins, we are going to use something else. Come on. We're going to use axles, which I need to get from the storage. Because that's gonna be more convenient. Stupid me. No. Yeah, like that. So. There we go. Okay. So, perfect. Although yeah, that would be more perfect. This would be more perfect. Yeah, we're gonna work with this. Fuck it. Okay, so no, it's not. It's not for me. This is for Leon, our subscriber. He's gonna build a Volvo truck, and we are going to help him. Okay. It needs to be heavy duty, so everything needs to be super sturdy. And I'm gonna make sure it is. So, oh my god, yeah. Oof. This is super strong. If these springs aren't strong enough, then I don't know. Then I don't fucking know. Okay, so this is going to be here. Well, the Volvo truck uses air springs, but we are not gonna use air springs because reasons. Okay, and here we are going to use this and this, and on this side, come on, we are going to use this guy and this and a bar there. So this is already, oh my god, Yeah, this is already very sturdy. Very sturdy. So, in case you're wondering, so the engine connects to this, but I'm not happy with this. There's something missing. It's perfectly fine. I mean, but you know what? I'm always thinking of making the frame rails for this as well. So since the engine is gonna be here, taking up 13 studs of space, you know, like that. This is our measurement, by the way. We have room to make the frame rails, and we are going to do them. We just need to turn this 180 degrees. Not quite, but yeah. We are going to figure it out. So, like this. This. Okay. Okay. Not quite. But let me just put this in for reference. So our axle for the upper wishbone is this. What can we do here? We can put in this. So we have, no, we need two, this, yeah, okay. That's how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna use this. You know, as always, it's a train of thought. I'm gonna follow it, and then you're gonna see what the result is gonna be. So okay. There we go. So as we were there, there, and this there. There we go. And you will see immediately why I did this. Okay. Jesus, this is strong. Okay, if this is too strong, put in softer springs. I have no other advice, but yeah, if this is going to be too stiff, just put in the light gray springs. This is, whoa, okay. I mean, it's a truck, yeah, but this is going to be super sturdy. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It'll be better once the lower wishbone is in. But yeah. So why have I done this? Very simple. Because the frame rails of the car is going to be up here, and I'm even gonna change this to be, this part is going, it has to be somewhere else. I mean, this is nice and strong, but I would like the frame rails to be lower. So here, yeah, they need to be lower. So let's redesign this one more time. Basically, we turn this around. There. There we go. Okay. Now we can place them either like this or this. I would prefer to place them so that this guy is actually leaning on the frame rail. And because this is special frame rail, we could even use this guy. Does it have? No. This is gonna be fine. Okay. Now the lower part is gonna be easy. Oh well, I'm gonna use these. I have the other ones. Okay. There. Oh man, this is really sturdy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it has to be like this. Problem is here in the front. No. When we continue our frame, of the truck. So basically this is the truck frame. It needs to be like this. If I did a Lego Technic truck, it would be like this. No, it does not have any camber. I don't think, you know, I would use no camber. I would use it just like this. If this is a truck, oh my god. Yeah. I would use it without a camber, otherwise we are going to just make a mess. because in the real car, you have to understand, in the real car, the hub carrier, everything is done in the hub carrier. So the camber is done here, and the kingpin is done here, because they can. It's a cast part, and they can do all of the angles here and be done with it. We can't. We can either do this sturdy, or we can do geometry. But for geometry, we need ball joints. Otherwise, this is going to be suffer. You are going to drive it on, you know, on a very straight surface anyway. This truck is not going to see any action on the real road, and for this, it's going to be fine. If it's fine with Lego models, you know, it's gonna be perfect. Okay, back to the subject. So the problem is this guy. This guy we can deal with, because the suspension, yeah, geometry is cool here. Okay, so we need to mount this. How do we mount this? Let me just check on the real car. I don't know how heavy the model is. Thing is that you can adjust the spring rate by just changing the springs. You have a lot of adjustment possibilities. That's a good thing. So I'm gonna design it with this, and Leon can change it for whatever he feels like. Okay, so this is not making me very happy. Let me see what other possibilities we have for the frame. So obviously I would like this to be here. The problem is this. Here it's not a problem, because on every joint, of course, you have, in addition to this, you should have you should run beams along it anyway. Yeah, so the springs are justified. Yeah. And what if I put it like this? Huh? Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this. Okay, so these guys are gonna go away. And here, we're gonna move this here. It'll be fine. I can put this here as well. Okay. So now I can use these guys. That we used previously. Today we are building Volvo front suspension for a truck. Come on. There we go. And there we go. There. Mounted. Now we have enough room here on each side to do this, you know, to mount these sturdy. Okay, so that's solved. Frame rails are solved. These are perfect for mounting the cab. You know, here in the front where the cab is going to be mounted, you can basically extend this like that, you know, and you have the mount for the cab here in the front as low as possible, and then the cab can tilt, you know, this way. Here's the mount, then the engine is exposed and everything. So all we need to do now is the lower wishbone, and then the steering. And the lower wishbone, for the lower wishbone we need to go, let me mount this. There. For the lower wishbone we need to go one stud further down, one stud further behind this mounting point, as far as I can see. Yep. And then we're good. And I would okay. Which part did I want to use for this? Let's see. No, definitely not. This is not going to work. So we want to be here, ideally. And we cannot have it in this plane, otherwise we are going to interfere with the steering. The steering, obviously, steering link, it's gonna have to be here. Like this. And it's gonna be parallel to the lower wishbone. So the lower wishbone, of course, is gonna be angled a little bit, I guess, or no, it's gonna be straight. So this is gonna be straight. Ah, yes. Then it needs to be below, like here. Okay. Okay. That settles it. Then I already know how to do the rest, I think. So I wonder, with me doing this, do I have room with the rim? That we need to investigate now. Yes, barely. But since the wheels are going to be different, I think, let me check with the wheels. Yeah, I guess it'll clear. Well, only Leon will know, but I think, you see, this part just barely scrapes a little on the wheel, basically on the tire. So I don't know what the lip here on the tires is that Leon uses, but I think we should be fine with this. Yeah, should be fine. Hmm. So we need a 9 stud long arms to match the steering link. Okay, and of course we need to bridge the gap here. So one stud. Yeah, this guy is not ideal for this job. We are making a Volvo truck front suspension. But I guess, yeah, we basically have to use these. Or can we do something else? Ideally, you know, I would go with them like this. That would be ideal. But, you know, ideal is very relative. Yeah, so since you don't own it and you cannot replicate this, we're not gonna use it. So let's stick with this. And we can basically, since this is the front, we can do this. There. I'm gonna do this. Here, we're gonna do this. So, 9er. Maybe not. Ah, of course. We can do this. On each side, we use one of these. And problem solved. There we go. So 13 studs in between. Let me now just check. How long does this need to be? Okay. Oh yeah. There we go. Nothing is going to touch the ground. Trust me. Nothing is going to touch the ground. So obviously I'm not going to do both sides, but I am going to do part of the other side just so we know where we're at. There we go. And this is damn sturdy. Oh my god, yeah. This doesn't move at all. And on a truck that is going to be that heavy, that's definitely an asset. And you see in here, in this cavity here, the double inline 3 engine is going to sit. There is, see, 13 studs of clearance in between. Should be plenty enough. And since the tires are going to be bigger than this, Jesus, what the fuck? Oh my god. Basically, this setup is too stiff. You will need to experiment with the springs. I would put in softer springs because this is just, you cannot even, like this, you cannot even push it down. Under perfect circumstances maybe, but you know, this truck needs to be so heavy. Right now I'm basically detaching the pins that are holding the rim, so that's really too heavy. I mean, too sturdy. And for our development purposes, I'm going to install the softer springs now, because this is too heavy. Too stiff. So I'm gonna put these in, just so we don't overdo it. This is just overkill, complete overkill. Luckily, changing the springs is super easy. Okay, that's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it. And if you want stiffer, you can have a combination. For example, two of these. So you will see how much how stiff the springs need to be once you have everything mounted. One problem. Okay, so we need to redesign this because these guys are hitting the wheel. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Let me just think for a second. Okay, yeah. Let's try like this. We are always going to use a pinhole. There. Perfect. No movement. No movement at all. Perfect. And I think, you see, I think the angles are plenty. These are very good angles. Doesn't hit anything. I mean, at the very extreme, it's hitting something, but you know, if we are, yeah, this can be redesigned as well. We can do something here, you know, but you'll see. And these are extreme angles, of course. If you angle it, dial it just a tiny bit back, it doesn't hit anything. And depending on your tires, it should be fine. Yeah, you can adjust it any way you want. So this is a really heavy duty suspension for a truck. And after you install the engine, I would also do a strut brace, you know, over the engine, just so you prevent everything from twisting. Yeah, it can be solved with a stopper, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Okay. Now we need to do the steering. There we go. So of course, obviously, even with the setup you wanted to do, the engine isn't going to be here. So it's not going to be completely low. Even in the Volvo suspension, as far as I can see, the suspension, basically the front axle goes up to here, approximately. So above this line, the engine can sit. You know, it's natural, of course. I mean, there has to be some room here for the steering and stuff, and this is the room that we are going to use for the steering. And let's see what kind of steering we need. So this is a 7 and this is an 8, so we need basically 8 studs between. Okay, 8 studs. I don't like this. No, not gonna use that. Not gonna use that. Okay, this is 13. Hey Thibaut. It's today we are building a Volvo truck front suspension. I posted a link. Let me repost it again here. Just a second. Tea is waiting for me. My tea. Okay. So, steering. What can we do here? It's not that I don't like coffee, but first of all, I don't drink coffee. I like it. I like the taste, but I don't drink it, and I will not drink coffee or stuff like that at this time of the day because otherwise I'm never gonna fall asleep. Okay, the steering is gonna be tricky because of the length of this. But I guess we could. Well, we can't. We can't cheat. See if we put here, if we put something here to extend this, then the steering rack needs to be behind the front axle, which is not the case in the Volvo setup. The Volvo setup, steering is in front of the front axle, which is also obvious. I mean, logical, because it's on the passenger side, on the driver's side, the steering box that goes up to the cab needs to be as close to the pivot point of the cab. So it cannot be this thing cannot be in the back. Yeah, so I'm gonna replicate the frame rail on this side, just a part of it, so I can Well, if we extend it and have it in the front, see, if we have this part and put, you know, something like this to extend it, kind of, and then this is in front of the car. So if this is the front of the car, then this will do the reverse Ackerman. So it will be worse, because if Ackerman, you would have, this is neutral. This is not gonna give us Ackerman. If we have the steering link here, this is gonna be worse. If the steering rack is in the front of the axle, but if the steering rack is in the back of the axle, this is gonna give us Ackerman. Yes. So in the front of the axle, the steering link would be ideally here placed. I mean, it would be even further out than the pivot. So best we can hope is neutral here in the front, because if we extend the pivot, then the wheel isn't gonna fit. That's the problem. So in no case are we going to extend this here. Engine width is going to be 13 studs. So the V8 isn't gonna fit, to be honest. To be honest with you, not really. So a Scania V8, it's not gonna be. Okay, so I wanted to recreate this. Yeah. Yep. And that's what we are going to do. The rack is going to be in the front, and I already have a solution how to do this. Let me just make this, and then we are going to get on with it. Yeah, V8 is really cool. I like it. There has been so much development put into the V8 that I'm really proud of it. And it's not just my work. It's also Ivan's child, since we both worked on it. So I cannot take all of the credit for it. No, this car is gonna have a double inline three. I mean truck. Leon said it's gonna be 2 inline threes put side by side. Ah, stupid me. The other side. Yeah, kinda. I hope you don't mind. There. So this is basically the room that we have between the frame rails. 13 studs to be precise. 13 studs exactly. Okay. Steering link. So 7 studs is our 7 studs. 9 studs is our space between them. So we need to be a bit creative. So something like this is going to be. And we're gonna place the rack itself in between here. So this is going to be underneath the engines. Underneath the engine. And of course we need to have this to be as stiff as possible, because it's gonna be a lot of weight that we are going to shift back and forth. So, and now we need to install this. What are our chances? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 studs. That's gonna be quite a challenge. 4 studs. This needs to move back and forth. How much? How much movement do we have? The max movement is how much? 2.5 studs. So it moves 2.5 studs in one direction, so 5 studs in all. So it needs 5 studs of movement back and forth, basically. So not even that. Oh, it's gonna be an Ackerman, I see. So basically 3 studs. 3 studs. 3 studs of movement. Oh, that's not much. That's not much. And we need it to move to move smoothly. Okay. Just let me think. What are our options here? So there. Okay. I'm just looking at the picture of the rear. Yeah, the rear rack is very short as well. So the rack itself. Essentially, what we want. It now all depends where the engine is gonna be. So we know exactly how long the inline 3 is, and the inline 3 is drumroll 13 studs long. So this is the length. And now we need to see. This is where Leon comes into play. Where exactly will the engine be placed? So more to the front or more to the back? I'm asking because these are the wheels, of course, just so you know the relation. So where is the engine gonna be? Further to the back, further to the front, because there where our uptake for the steering is gonna be. So this is a very important question. Ideally, I would maybe place it slightly at an angle, so it would go like this, and you could have it then some cardan joints here, or the Lego CV joints to make it sturdier, so that when the cab tilts to the front, yeah, I mean, it's in the real car, in the real truck, it's more to the back as well. Yeah, but not too much. I mean, let's say its position is about here. You know, so some of it is still in the front of the wheels, or ish, because let's be honest, the engine is gonna be pretty much on the wheels. I mean, something like this, maybe a little bit to the back. So let's say a few studs in front. Yeah. And uptake for the steering is gonna be just in front of the engine. So basically, the engine is gonna go up until the shaft that goes to the cab. And the shaft that goes to the cab can be whatever, because in the real car as well, it's joints basically. The as far as I can see on the picture, the shaft that comes out of the steering rack itself is basically almost in the middle of the car, almost. And then you have a cardan joint going diagonally to the cab. So that's basically what you are going to do as well. Okay, so basically our shaft is gonna come out vertically out of the steering rack. That's good. Good to know. And let's say this is gonna be 3 studs apart. And we need to somehow make this into a unit. So this is gonna be really sturdy, and it's gonna be able to rotate. Now the last question that we need to ask: if we turn the steering wheel to the left, so basically to the left, so I need to turn this around and play with it. Okay, so if we turn the steering wheel there, the wheels turned like that. Yeah, it needs to be the other way around. So basically, yeah. Okay, another challenge. Another challenge. So basically, the steering, the gear needs to be here, and the rack here. Then the action is right. Yeah. Okay, but we want as few gears as possible. Otherwise, this is gonna be way too big and not stiff enough. Which is an interesting challenge. let me Google a little bit for pictures of the real life stuff, just to see how Volvo solved this. I'm pretty sure there's a trick that I am missing. And the pictures are all so vague, and they don't show what I want to see. Typical, of course. Ah, okay, okay. That's how Volvo did it. Okay, interesting. So the steering rack is on the rear side. Yes, as you said. Yes. And that's how we're gonna do it. Yeah. So, okay. So the steering is in the rear. No problem. We don't even have to change anything because this is. So basically, even better. Um, there we go. Okay. So if the steering is in the rear, basically we don't give a shit where the position is right now, because we just need the steering rack to do this, and an axle then goes as far to the front as we like, and then it goes up. Yep. Yep. Okay, that is good. Good to know. So our steering rack is going to be horizontal. And I would even go so far that yeah, maybe not, but we could go so far that as to have the steering axle in the middle, and then we just angle it. This could be pretty viable. Yeah, and then basically the engine can be wherever you like. Yeah, let me just explore this. Let me explore this. Yeah, it can be anywhere. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, so we need like yeah, I remember. Okay. As usual, we are going to try a couple of things and see what works. What do you mean if it can go inside the chassis rail? Hmm? I just want to see if there's enough movement. Nothing more for now. Just want to see if our boy here has enough movement. Then we are going to proceed. Yeah, that's all it needs. There's a problem with this setup, of course. May not be obvious, but I want this guy to be basically on top. So we need to reverse this so that he is pressing down. But no problem. And when he presses down, we cannot get skipping. And since we are going to reverse the direction here anyway with a pair of gears, we don't really care about this direction. So we can flip it, basically. Not easy, but we have to flip it to be like this, basically. I mean, not easy. Of course it's easy. It's not that difficult. Luckily our guy here has this. There. Just use 2 of these and it's gonna be all right. There. See? Perfect. Now we need to guide it so it doesn't wobble around wherever it pleases, which is also not going to be too difficult, the way I see it. Not here in the front and not in the back. So here in the front, we're gonna use these guys. Some disassembly required. Oh no, the other way, other way around. There. Okay, one little snag, if we can call it like that. Not no big deal. We're gonna deal with it the same as we did on the front. I mean here. So basically, gonna use some bars. On this side, I'm not gonna use anything because we're not gonna install the suspension, so I don't care. There we go. Very good. Okay. So on this side, it is located. one more thing. Ooh. Okay. Already much better. Now we need to locate it in the back here. And we're done. And we are done. Okay. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do this slightly differently in order for not to upset that guy. Come on. Yeah, this will be fine. In the extreme case, we can just make the lower arms slightly different. You know, we can lower them here, but this is fine. No bump steer whatsoever. Of course, why would there be? This is fine. There's enough, I mean, there's enough room here, you know, even in the most extreme part, that it can flex like this. Oh, wait. Maybe we can. Can we? Let me try one thing. What if, like in a real truck, gain more leverage? If what I'm gonna do now makes any sense, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make any sense at all, and maybe I'm not even allowed to do this because it's gonna impact with the wheel. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Not like that. Anyway. But if we do like this, then maybe But no, because this simply does not allow enough steering movement. So this is gonna have to be the only alternative I see here. Because this is bothering me very much. Yeah. The only alternative I see here is solving two problems with one stroke. So if we remove this, okay, and we remove this. Ah, my God. So my idea would be to actually move the pivot I mean, move the pivot. That sounds so like me. No, if we would have this guy here, and then in the gap between, the steering link can go up and down. There we go. Gap. No, tire clearance we have already checked with tire clearance. Tire clearance is fine. This could be nice. So there we go. He is here. Very nice. Okay. Now that we have solved this, we need to see about that. Yeah, it's gonna be done better. It's gonna be done better. Or not. Ah, this is so frustrating. Okay. Now we need a guide for these. Okay, that's the extreme point. You know, I want to prevent this from happening as much as I can. No. Formula 1 wishbones are crap. Okay. There we go. See? Now the steering rack is not interfering with the steering link at all. I mean the steering rack, the wishbone. This is perfect. I wonder how to make this behave. This is the only thing that we need right now before we can say this is finished. And I don't want to go higher than this, because here the engine is gonna be on top of this. I don't want to increase the height of this anymore. We need to prevent it from getting out and from doing this. Okay, let me try something. No, that's not gonna work the way I want it, because it's gonna take up this space here and I don't want that. Oh yes, we can do it like this. Yep. This could work. And it's gonna be far enough apart so that it doesn't interfere, so that it doesn't allow it to wobble. So what can we do here? If only this guy would focus. Okay. So I want to have an axle here. An axle as a guide. Okay, problem solved. On this side I don't have that. Okay. So this is what? It's 13 plus 2 is 15. So 2 times 7. But we're not going to use 7 stud. Instead we're going to use a 5 stud. Like this. There. Yep. And in between, what we're going to use in between? These two, yeah. Perfect. This is perfect. So I'm gonna cut it here. Now we can use our friends. We can use this guy. I don't know, I'm just eyeballing everything here. I'm doing this specifically because I don't want, like in the charger, when you steer, I don't want this to move. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. And of course, I mean, there's options to mount this anywhere. This can be mounted differently, but you know, that's for Leon to figure out. I'm just here to give him ideas. Wait, what? Ah. Sometimes I'm thick as a, I don't know. Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter. Not gonna happen in the car. Yeah. So the engine can, I mean, you can freely choose the distance, this distance. So you know, and gearing this down, you know, it's not even correctly spaced because it's, you know, this guy is bending down a little bit. So you know, but you get the gist. That's the general idea. Yeah, I mean, considering the weight, I would gear this down even more. Maybe use a different gearbox here to have, I don't know. Maybe, well, maybe use this guy on the small guy. The other way around. Sorry. What was I thinking? It needs to be the other way around, of course. Ah, terrible. I'm terrible. Sometimes I am surprising myself at how terrible I am. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, it's so smooth. But yeah, I mean, that's it. You know what to do here. Angle this, and then I don't know. Something. I would fix this into position just so it, when you steer, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't jerk like this. Uh, Fix it somehow. I don't know. But yeah, this is now much better. Much better. So smooth. Even with added weight, it should be fine. And let's check with the wheels. And with a wheel, singular. Need this. Oh, butter is smooth. Butter is smooth. Even when I add weight to it, let's see. Yeah, even with weight, and I'm adding quite a bit of weight, it's still easy to turn. It's surprisingly easy to turn. My god, and it's coping well. It's coping well considering that all of this is wobbly still, and this isn't fixed. It's perfect. That's all you need. It'll be fine. There we go. One front suspension. And then on top of this, now on top of this, the engine is gonna come. That's what I would do. Anyway, I think I hope that I was helpful in a way with your suspension, Leon. And on Friday we continue with our regular programming. This is relatively light and it's extremely sturdy. This is very, 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 very stiff. It's not bending anywhere except of course this, but this is bending because there's no chassis and nothing still. So once there's a chassis, this is gonna be rock solid. And I would do the chassis, the entire chassis with this. So I would use just frames. Of course, frames, and then use either on the outside or on the inside, whatever it's more convenient. I would use lift arms. You know, just so the frames are connected and everything is fine. Anyway, Friday we are back with the charger. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel. Consider supporting me on Patreon because Lego is expensive, you know. And I see you on Friday.